So, a lot of the American states want to continue killing people. I mean, basically, state sanctioned, murder. Here's a way where you could continue, killing your murderers in those states. What you do is you say it's constitutionally okay for the governor of the state to carry out the state's sanctioned death penalty, which means the governor has to actually walk up to the condemned criminal and either use a pistol or a rifle to shoot them in the head. Simple as that. You take away all this bullshit with hanging and stuff. The person is, fed their last meal. They're given a dose of Valium to make them amenable, or some other kind of drug to make them placid and, make them feel kind of stoned and happy, And then you ask them to go into a garden and sit, find yourself a seat, and then the governor has to enter that garden, come up slowly behind them. You probably have to be trained to do this, Sneak up slowly behind the person who's stoned and watching, ducks eating bread that they're feeding them in a pond, whatever, And then the governors go to come up behind them with a pistol or a rifle and shoot them in the fucking head. Bang, And there you go. The state has carried out an execution. That person has been killed. And the governor who's sanctioned that death has had to carry out that death. And then everyone would know, everyone in that state would know that their governor believed in the death penalty enough to have carried out that death penalty themselves. None of this hiding who carried it, but who pushed the fucking button that electrocuted people or hanged people or, started the process of injecting shit into people's veins or not. No, the governor themselves has to go and kill every person that they sanction needs to die. Or the governor can sign a bill to say, I commute their sentence to life imprisonment without parole. I wonder how many governors would actually want to go out there and shoot people in the head and let it be known that they murdered people. Especially when eventually, maybe 2-3 years down the line, some new evidence comes up to prove that the person they shot, the person who they shot and killed, was actually innocent. I wonder how many governors would be willing to sign a death warrant on someone if they knew that, when they were running for higher office, maybe going for, president, whether they would want it to be known that they actually shot an innocent person in the head. I do believe that most of those governors would commute all those death sentences to life without parole, and that would give those people a bit more time to find out whether they were actually guilty of their crime or not. I think if I was on death row, I would want the governor to have to come up and shoot me in the head himself. Because I know that he wouldn't want to do it. I would get life in prison, and if I was innocent, it would give me all that much more time to prove my innocence. And if I was guilty, well, it doesn't matter, because all the money that is spent for me going back and forward to court, yeah, I might spend my whole life back in jail, you know, but it's not going to cost the taxpayer all those millions of pounds and all that time for me to go to court, you know what I mean? Yeah, I might be a devious, murdering, man-eating, you know, horrible cunt, but I would rather see, as a person like myself, I would rather see them in jail for life and not have to spend millions of pounds going back and forward to court and taking up that court time and all the amount of protection, you know, to make sure nobody's breaking him out of jail or nobody's trying to kill him when he's going to court and going back to jail, you know. Because it costs millions of pounds just to do all that. It costs millions and millions of pounds for every appeal, you know. And the time that these judges spend it, the time that the state, the money the state spend it, I would rather just put him in jail for life. And then if he's innocent, let him learn how to read law books. Let him get in touch with a lawyer outside. Let him get a lawyer who will do it free for him if he can find evidence, you know. That's more what I would say is a democratic system. But if you want to kill people, then the governor of the state should have to go and shoot every single convicted murderer, every single person condemned to die. The governor of the state should have to go there and shoot them in the head. Because that would be real leadership. That would be real, I know what I'm doing, these people deserve to die, I'm going to carry out the death sentence. I'm not going to ask anybody else to do it. I am the highest person that you have elected. It's my job to make sure these people are put to death. I will pull the trigger. That's the way it should be. Apparently that's the way it used to be. You know, back when. Yeah, apparently that's what used to happen. There was a designated person who killed people. And we all knew who he was. In fact, in France there's very famous people who were, you know, the hangmen, you know, or the guillotine men, and in England it's the same. Some of the most renowned, you know, state killers, their names are commemorated because they killed so many people for the state. You know, we know who they were. I don't see why we should hide it now. I don't see why it should be hidden behind, you know, some unnamed person pushing a button. I do believe that if the governor thinks that you should die, he should come out and kill you. He should come out, walk up behind you and shoot you in the head. And then everybody knows that the governor really does believe in the death penalty. He's not just saying he does in order to get re-elected and letting someone else do his shitty work. He has to do that job himself. It should be his job. It should be the job of the governor to kill every single prisoner who comes up for fucking execution. It should be the governor's job to go down there and either pardon him, commute the sentence, or kill him. Then we could really find out what these governors really think about the death penalty, I think, you know. Just my view on things. Sanji fucking van motherfuckers. Let me think what you think.